so that the transport costs are lower, because we are now mainly using road from here to the ocean. And on the side of Kenya, the ocean is 800 miles away from here, on the side of Kenya. On the side of Tanzania, the ocean is 1,000 miles away from here. And we are now saying that this long distance is better, it is covered by rail rather than by road transport. Because rail transport is cheaper than road transport. But you now hear that we are ranked number one, in spite of these obstacles which we need to resolve, which we are going to resolve. We have repaired the old meter gauge railway, and we are going to build the standard gauge railway so that we handle the issue of the transport costs to the ocean. And then electricity, that one we are moving on very well. So I welcome these companies which are coming to do solar power. They will contribute. So therefore, really, you should clarify to our friends from the UAE that this area is very good for business, and most of the requirements are in place. The market is in place because we worked on it politically. Uganda, but East Africa, we had to work on it to integrate, to create the East African market by negotiating with our brothers. And by 1980, the Africans started waking up. You know, many people in the world, you call sleeping 9 in Arabic, sleeping 9. Many people in the world suffer from nine. Just asleep. Even here, Africans are fond of sleeping. But in 1980, they started waking up. This was about 20 years after independence. When they met in Lagos, Nigeria, they said, we have been asleep. There is no way Africa can develop without creating one market. That's when we started. We started in 1980, what was called the Lagos Plan of Action. Lagos is a city in Nigeria. And the plan was to integrate the African markets. That's when it started. They had been asleep until that time when they woke up. So we have now moved. We have moved. So that creates, because now if we do not have the regional market, we will be in problems. We already have a big surplus of milk. We produce a lot of milk. The internal consumption is about 1/5. So where do we sell the milk? The region. They're the ones who are helping us. How about the sugar? How about the cement? How about the steel? If we do not have the regional market, Uganda will be stuck. So when you see like Latin America is richer than the United States in terms of natural resources. If you look at the water, the amount of water in South America, fresh water, the forests, the minerals, much richer. But they are disorganized. They are fragmented. The market of South America is fragmented. So you can't succeed. It's not easy to succeed in Latin America. And that's why you find people running away from Latin America, walking on foot, running away from poverty. of South America to the prosperity of the United States. Because the United States were clever enough, those original people, George Washington and others, they were able to unite those colonies of Britain. The 13 colonies, they united them. Then, so you create a very good market for a wealth creator. If I create wealth, if I produce, I sell easily. I can sell to many people. That's why you find that these big countries are now overtaking the small countries of Europe. Now, China is richer, has got a big economy than UK, than France, than Germany, partly because of the size of the internal market. So here we saw this and we worked on it, and we want to share it with our friends. So therefore, you are most welcome. And you Ugandans, you should not fear working with, either working with, or even if they come and invest alone, you don't have to get a local partner. It's not very crucial. If you get a reliable one, good. If you don't, come alone. Because Uganda will still benefit. You know, I had some discussion with the Field Marshal Mubarak, the late president of Egypt, when I visited him first time. And I mentioned to him, because in Egypt, they had a policy that in order for me to invest in Egypt, I must get an Egyptian partner. I said, Field Marshal, what is this for? This is not correct. Why? Why does he have to get a local partner? What for? Because, and I gave him the example, I said, Field Marshal, if I come and invest in Egypt, and my company earns $100 million in a year, like for instance, if I build a textile factory, first of all, I'll have to buy cotton. And cotton is local. So the $100 million gross, part of it will go to buy cotton. Then I pay the workers who will be local. Then I cannot come with my own electricity. I'll have to pay for the electricity from local. How about the water? Where would I get water from? I cannot come with water from what? Now, by the time I finish doing all that, out of the $100 million gross, you may find I remain only with 15% or 20%. 80% is now remaining here. And this is all local, this is all new money which was not there before, because there was no investment. There was zero earning. But now, our friend from out has got $20 million out of the 100 million, and me, I have got 80 million because of these flows of money into the different activities. So therefore, and that's why the economists, and you wonder why people say they're economists, then you wonder what sort of economists they are. That's why we make a distinction between GDP, gross domestic product, and GNP. GNP is the wealth of Ugandans here or abroad. GDP is the wealth of everybody who has invested in Uganda, whether he's Ugandan or not. And if you look at China, the GDP now there is about 19 trillion. GNP is about 14 trillion. So you find that China is benefiting from more from investments from outside. Even the US, about 2 trillion or so is from outside. So therefore, you Ugandans should welcome FDI, foreign direct investment. Don't waste their time. And don't say in your confused language here, because in their language here, they say, factory yomuyindi. A corridor yomuyindi. In their language, when our Indian people build a factory here, they say the Indian's factory in our local language. And I tell them, I said, there is no Indian factory here. All the factories here are Ugandan. Regardless of who builds it. And I tell them that you Ugandans, do we have these African Ugandans, black Ugandans, who are investors, or you are just rumor mongers? Who owns the factory here? These are all just rumor mongers. And then they call it Rwano. Jango tukulabe. Aliruda oyo agorodo mukono. Emabega. Go to the microphone. I'll need you to tell me.
Your Excellency, thank you very much. My name is Joseph Nkandu. I am the Executive Director of Nucafe. We are coffee farmers who have, collectively worked around and we have invested. Your Excellency.
Mukoze korero.
Yes, sir.
Wawona.
Sebo in Namave, nae even in the countryside.
Oh, okay.
So in Namave, we have our centralized factory where we are processing coffee all the way